where you're from, get the job done. Simple.
So you're trying to say the regulator of these commercial banks is not, they are not doing enough, because if the banks can, of course the policy came out and then an order also came out.
Right.
They need all the federal government.
Exactly.
Yes, that you have in your COFAS
Yes.
to this account.
Yes.
And they do not do that with
Yes.
immediate effect.
Yes.
So if it has taken this long for them to be sanctioned,
yes.
you know,
yes.
that's it's questionable.
Yes. And you know, this is what the president is facing. I was on WeFM when I unveiled my, the George Uboh Whistleblowers Protection, Act. He said I proposed it because, of course, we need a robust law to protect whistleblowers. And I found out that the president, during his campaign, he actually talked about it. When you read the Buhari meter, he talked about protecting whistleblowers and everything. But the president can give the cabinet members an idea of what he wants. He cannot be writing all these things. I've told you I want whistleblowers to be protected. So the appropriate ministry, now the Attorney General, Ministry of Justice, they need to put it in place. So that is what has been happening in this government. The president knows what he wants. He has given a directive, move all federal government funds to Treasury single account. That is all he's supposed to do. You take it from there. It's a very tough job because you are overseeing an entire country, so you don't need to be teleguiding. Just say, give an overview, instruction or whatever, and let it be carried out. But it's not being done.
Married this discussion with the fight against corruption, the anti-corruption war,
right,
and then banks having to keep such huge amount of money in their coffers. Do you think, of course, recently people were scared, panicking, running to banks to go withdraw their funds against them, banks collapsing and all that, just like the central bank took over the management of Sky Bank recently.
Right.
Now, trying to fight corruption and these banks, people being scared that they are strong enough, don't you think maybe they kept such monies to also help them avoid liquidity and all that?
Well, you can have an ambivalent situation. The point is a directive has been given and it needs to be complied with. The fight against corruption, it goes back to the same thing I'm saying. The man means well, the president, well, it's just the people around him. And that is the problem with which we are faced. So you can't justify anything the banks are doing. I mean, this directive is a directive. And I want to tell you too that the banks in Nigeria enjoy a lot of privileges that other banks in other countries do not. But again, that is a separate discussion, because there are so many areas, investigations. Of course, when I took on EFCC, I came up with evidence that Access Bank expunged 4-year record for EFCC. And I always say it, and I have the evidence. And this is just because we do not have that, system ready, willing, and able to take on what I call the banking sector mafia, and they are very strong, So there is a lot going on within these banks. We need a strong CBN governor to take them on. That is not biased. Because even the evidence I gave you look at it, Zenith Bank is there, and he came from Zenith Bank, so I want him to do something about it.
Well, so just my producer is already warning us of time.
Right.
So talking about the TSA.
Right.
So many people talking about Nigerians now.
Right.
We feel we have so much money somewhere that the government can use in salvaging our current economic challenges.
Right.
But just like the Minister of Finance said in the interactive session she had with journalists, that people shouldn't think that because we've been able to gather a huge amount of money, then the government can run there that this monies belong to MDAs. So against our current economic challenges, do you think the government can in any way go in there, the TSA, of course, to borrow?
Well, I'm not an economic, I'm not an expert in that area. I'm a security expert and an anti-corruption crusader. But why I like the TSA regime is the fact that, take for instance NNPC, the account I traced, NNPC/Demola Banjo. Demola Banjo is a person, a banker. Why is his name being inserted into NNPC account? So you have over 1,000 NNPC accounts, fake accounts. So the TSA would actually harmonize all this. That is what I like about it from the perspective of, fighting corruption and financial security and all that. That is what I like about it. Because you go to other countries, that is the way it's done. You go to US, the Treasury Department, if the DOJ, the Department of Justice arrests you, they seize money from you, it goes straight to the Treasury account. Not like EFCC keeping the money. You understand what I'm saying? Because the temptation is there. Let it go to the Treasury one account. If you win your case from that account, they cut you a check. So, that is what I like about that.
It's all right, Dr. George Uboh. Thank you so much for coming on the program today. And that will be the size of our package. We'll now leave you with graphic details of business transactions within the country. Thank you for being a part of the program. And don't forget to join us again, same time next week. I am Chinemerem Joseph.